Hello guys, this is Mike from ICODROPS, and today I have a very special guest. Forbes 30 Under 30 CEO and founder of Policypal, beautiful lady and very nice person. Meet Valenzia Yap. Hello Val.
Hi everyone, I'm Val Yap, CEO and founder of Policypal. Very excited to be here speaking to ICODROPS audience, and very fortunate to receive this interview invitation from Mike.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me congratulate you on a very successful token sale. You have reached the hard cap less in 1 minute, and that's really impressive.
Yeah, thank you so much. Our team was really excited. It was quite funny where I left my table just for a minute, and by the time I came back, I was like, oh, everything was gone. We were really happy. It was Sunday morning in Singapore. We were still thinking that maybe we have to work on that weekend, but after that, we're like, oh, okay, all done. So what's next? We relaxed that afternoon. After that, we continued to work. So that week, I actually flew to Milan for another meeting with the regulators to talk about our project. Yeah.
That's awesome. Could you please tell a little bit about your previous experience before Policypal?
My background is in digital media and finance. So I did my studies in Imperial College and also University of Arts London, where I built mobile apps, also websites, before I moved on to join insurance companies and also doing business assurance in one of the big fours. And I joined a bank in Singapore for 2.5 years before starting the company.
As I know, the reasons you decided to start Policypal are very personal. Could you please share this story with us?
Definitely. So, as I mentioned, that I was previously living in London. I moved back to Singapore in 2013. The reason was because my mom was then diagnosed with cancer. So she went through 2 operations. The medical fees was about 6 digits. I was helping her to submit for insurance claims payment, and then that was the time I realized it was a nightmare, because the back and forth communication with the insurance company, the reason they gave for rejection of the claim was because the policy was lapsed once. And as a policyholder, I should have known that I should go for a second medical underwriting, that means bring her for another checkup before reinsert the policy again. But we didn't know about all those, so we didn't do the second checkup. So the insurance company rejected the claim and just returned us the insurance premiums instead of the sum assured, which was a significant difference. It was unfortunate, but our family accepted the fact, and then we just decided to move on as long as everyone is healthy and can continue living, right? So a lot of people ask me, how's my mom today? She's great. I'm really thankful that the whole family is very united. But in the same year that 2013 December, unfortunately, I lost my dad due to heart attack. He was very young, in his 50s, so nothing was prepared. So when we had to start up the paperwork for him, the bank accounts and insurance, we looked through it manually at home. The insurance agent that sold the policy to him wasn't around anymore. So we ended up going down to different insurance companies and bringing the death certificate one by one to check whether my dad had insurance policy there. So that was not a very pleasant experience. We sorted it out, but that got me thinking, every individual out there have family members, loved ones, they have insurance policy. Has it been arranged and organized properly so that the family members know how much is coverage, where can they ask for help in times of needs? So that's the reason why I started Policypal, mainly just to help individuals and the consumers out there to manage, understand policies, keep track of all the documents. Yeah, so that's how the company got started, and we have evolved over time. Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing your story with us. I suppose this could be very motivating and inspiring for many people who might have some serious problems in their life right now. Thank you. Speaking about Policypal, could you please explain in the easiest way possible what Policypal is and what actual value does it bring to this world?
First of all, Policypal was started to really address the needs of the consumers, individuals out there, where there was a huge gap. No one is helping to manage and help the individuals out there to understand the insurance coverage, especially like the jargons are really complex. So we are very customer-centric and really driven to serve the purpose of the individuals out there. So from understanding the insurance coverage and the gaps in their portfolio, especially like a lot of people buy, say, life policy, they thought they are covered for everything. So if they are hospitalized, they have critical illness, they thought they are covered, but actually that's not the case. So within our app, we actually help people to understand the coverage and the gaps. From there, they can buy an insurance policy. So actually, Policypal was the first company last year to enter Singapore regulatory fintech sandbox, test out the business model in a restricted environment, so that we can work together with insurance companies to help the customers to fill up the protection gap. So if let's say there's a gap in like critical illness, they can browse the products, buy the insurance policies on the app, and then have a straight-through process. So as a customer, you no longer have to go through back and forth communications and also trying to reach out to different insurance companies for help. So that's what Policypal has been after the sandbox time. That was September 2017 last year. So after gotten the license, we get to work with 20 insurance companies. From the name of like AXA, Aviva, Manulife, to Liberty, Tokyo Marine, and also the regional ones like NTUC Income. This gave us the opportunity to work much more closely with them to co-create new insurance products to serve the needs of the consumers. So we're thinking about how can we expand this service and help more people around the world. Therefore, we launched the platform Policypal network, where we actually put policies on the smart contract. This way, we are able to automate policy inception and claims payment, reducing the time of like claims processing that normally takes weeks to be done. We aim to get it done instantly to a couple of days by doing decentralized insurance. So I'll talk more in details in terms of like how the token holders help in this ecosystem that we are building as well. So the main vision of Policypal is really to help individuals out there to get protection, and also people these days are also getting into the crypto assets and crypto space, where a lot of them have cryptocurrencies in their wallets. Today, they are not covered. There's no insurance protection on it at all. So if you have a bank account, in Singapore, it's always covered up to 50,000. However, in your crypto wallet, there's no coverage at all. Anything happen, be it being hacked, or like you lost the key, anything, there's no recovery. So we want to bring assurance and peace to this space as well, because we know there's huge potential in the blockchain space, not only in cryptocurrency. We want more and more people to feel that they are assured and there's peace of mind when they actually store the assets in the crypto wallet. Therefore, we introduced insurance for crypto assets, we call it Crypto Protect.
As I know, Policypal was only one of 2 startups supported by Monetary Authority of Singapore. Am I right?
So far, Policypal Singapore is the first company that has graduated, and currently the only one that has graduated out of the sandbox. So we have been very fortunate to be working very closely with the MAS fintech team in terms of like how do we get regulated in that space, and also understanding what the risks and how do we do the compliance, working together with them to serve the individuals out there in Singapore. So Policypal Network, the platform that we recently launched, is a non-regulated platform. Why is it non-regulated? Because it's basically a blockchain platform that we provide technology to our partners that is going on the global space. So on the Policypal Singapore side, we do the whole like insurance broking end-to-end service. Therefore, it has to be regulated, while Policypal Network is non-regulated, that can be scaled to a global scale.
And can you share your experience with this program?
Yeah, definitely. So quite a lot of people ask like, oh, why enter the sandbox, and also how was the whole experience? First of all, we decided to apply for the sandbox because when we first started the company in 2016, we were very young. I tried to knock on different big corporate store and say that, oh, can we do a partnership? Back then, insurance, there were no such word as insurtech yet because the insurance space was still quite behind. So I had to go and either get an insurance broker license, which it has really high requirement in terms of payout capital, years of experience for the whole management team, or I partnered solely with just one insurance company. So we didn't want to restrict ourselves in terms of that because we know our service can really help a lot of people out there. So I heard about the MAS Fintech Sandbox from the team over there. So I reached out to them. So we submitted the application pretty early in August 2016. Went through rounds of conversations, also testing our technology solution. So in November, we got the first stage approval from them to enter the sandbox. So that at that point of time, they also just released the white paper to open it up for all the applications for all the startups who are interested to enter the sandbox. So I guess we were the first because I think we kind of plan ahead. When we know about it, we reach out to them and try to understand how is it. The experience has been fantastic because once we got the first stage approval with this letter, it helped us to get the partnership with the insurance company. I wouldn't say it's an endorsement from the regulator because that's not the right way, but it's more of that we have gone through the right steps to ensure that we know what to do as a digital insurance broker working with the insurance companies. So after that, we got this final stage approval where we set up the whole like risk measure as well as when we are starting, who we're working with, what type of products we're testing, and also the KPIs, like key performance indicator, whether this company has done the trial in a successful manner. So we went through the sandbox trial for 6 months. Actually, midway we already know that we're meeting the KPI, so we have to start preparing to exit the sandbox. So 3 months beforehand, we were already preparing the documents, the paperwork that's needed to be licensed. So MAS has been super supportive in that sense because they work with us very closely where the main team, the fintech team will coordinate together with us while they will be working with the regulatory team, the insurance team, the capital markets team. So we get the full resource, but we have the main point of contact to help us in terms of planning ahead. And we also, as a company, especially a startup, we're constantly moving and constantly trying to improve the features, getting customer feedback. So a lot of people ask, oh, how is it like in the sandbox, especially like you're being watched by the regulator? For us, because we know that we have to prepare in advance, we plan ahead. This helps us as a startup to plan ahead and ensure that we meet our key milestones and also our product development. This helps to ensure that the team is all like very focused on like delivering what's next because we have already informed the regulator, or we're rolling this feature out, or what's this for, how can it help the consumers. So the whole experience has been very rewarding because we get to learn so much about the space. On top of that, after graduation out of sandbox, Singapore regulator has also established really good network around the world with many other regulators that give us the opportunity to explore working with the regulators over there. So one of the examples is that I think I mentioned to you earlier is that after the token sale, I actually went to Milan. So the Milan trip was to attend Financial Stability Board meeting. It was with global regulators. It was a really fantastic, like eye-opening meeting as well, because I met with so many of them and shared the story of us during the sandbox trial period, post sandbox, and I even shared that we have done ICO. So ICO is a separate entity where it's non-regulated. So I wouldn't say that MAS endorsed the ICO because it's a separate platform, but it has helped the company to grow in the sense to understand the industry, what the needs from the consumer, how can we improve as a company to serve a bigger crowd other than just Singaporeans here. Can we serve the people all the way to the UK or all the way to Indonesia? So therefore, we built Policypal Network, this platform that can help really the billions of people instead of just 5 million people based in Singapore.
As I know, Policypal was invested by a number of institutional and private investors with good reputation, including 500 Startups, Startup Bootcamp, and Finbushi Capital. Can you tell more about your early supporters and how do they contribute to the project?
Definitely. So 500 Startup was an early investor from the seed round in 2016. So 500 Startup is a global VC, and they started from Silicon Valley. So their partners are really helpful in terms of looking into how do you grow your business, looking into the right metrics, and so tracking the right data. On top of that, looking into engagement of our customers and user base. So it helped us in building the first product and growing it to ensure that we are moving towards the right direction. And over time, last year, as we started planning Policypal Network, and we also raised funding round from Finbushi. So Finbushi Capital is a blockchain-focused VC. They currently have, I think, more than 50 blockchain companies all around the world that are under their portfolio. The fantastic thing is that they actually connect ourselves with many of their portfolio companies for collaboration and partnership opportunity. So we really like this. Why? Because as we move from the startup space of where normally you just work on your own project, or you work with other partners that's relevant to you, to the space where there's so much collaboration within so many blockchain companies. So it gives us a lot of opportunity in terms of scaling up to many different countries, and also having the opportunities where other blockchain companies will be using our solution and will be using theirs as well. I have to share that the first supporter and also investor was Startup Bootcamp FinTech. They originally from the Europe. They came to Singapore about 2 years ago, and we were in one of the early batches there. So I think the other startup that has gone through Startup Bootcamp was actually 10X as well. They were 1 year our senior. So back then, Startup Bootcamp really helped in terms from turning the idea, knowing that I want to build this from a PowerPoint slide to really pushing the startups really hard in just a launch. I remember that I built the product, the team built it within 8 weeks. The first iteration was we done it in 8 weeks. And I remember the guy from Startup Bootcamp, I can't name him, was just launch it. He was just launch it and get feedback from the customer, from the user. That actually pushed me really hard, because I've been quite a competitive and professionalist. I want to make sure that the product is great because I felt that it represents the company. But actually, the advice was the best. Why? Because once we launch it, we get the real feedback from the users out there, instead of asking your friends and family. Because your friends and family love you. They'll say, oh, this is fantastic, it's great, I'm going to use it. But the real feedback you get is really from the consumers. So that's what I've learned over time. And then as we build the business, we also got, recently we have Global Brain that came on board to actually support us in our investment. Global Brain really helped in terms of expansion plans. They're based in Japan and they have connections from the US, Japan, and whole Asia Pacific as well. So now the team in Singapore is all working on the testnet that we're looking to launch in early June. So we have the mindset that we will build the first testnet, and it's almost like a POC, proof of concept out there, and get the real feedback from the community before we iterate further and then launch it on the mainnet, which is extremely helpful because who we're building the product for is really for the community, for consumers out there. Once we can get the feedback and also like how we can improve the product further, will really help in terms of delivering the best product instead of just one company like us trying to build the best product, but actually the best product is built together with the community.
According to your website, Policypal's team consists of about 20 people.
Yes.
But only 5 are on the site. I'm always interested in the people who stand behind the project, so can you please tell more about the team? Who are these people? Yeah. Where do they come from? What competences and what experience do they have?
Yeah, definitely. So recently we have grown the team to 23 now. So myself, background is in financial services and technology. So we have very experienced insurance people like David Hong, where he has started 2 insurance broking firms, sold it to Jardine Lloyd Thompson, many years of experience in underwriting, where he helped us to look into the product, and also in terms of like the risk assessments of like each pool that we are looking to set up. And the tech team is really now led by Casey Wong. So Casey Wong has been working together with me since the start of Policypal. So like we built the company together. We have gone through quite a bit from the ups and downs. Anyone who has started a company or running a company or working in it knows that in a startup, especially when you start from scratch, when you bootstrap, you have gone through a lot as a team. So he started looking into blockchain development on his own last time because of the interest he has. Even though last time we were building the app on Golang, Python, as well as React Native. So he self-taught himself Solidity to build smart contracts. And that's how he led the team to now all 7 engineers to be coding our blockchain platform. So I think that like someone recently asked me what am I most proud of. I remember I was on a panel last weekend. A lot of people ask me, is it like whatever achievement I'm actually. The tech team is led by Casey now, with 7 engineers. On top of that, we have our marketing and operations team. So the marketing and operation teams have been working on Policypal Singapore platform, and they've been running the campaigns and also engagement and managing the community for Policypal network as well. So that's led by Venice. So I think a lot of people in the Telegram are very familiar with Venice because she's really active there. She's responding to everyone's inquiry all the time. Recently, she even made a comment there that like she looks at Telegram more than Instagram or any other social media platform. Yeah, so the team has really diverse background from people who have been in the startup scene or people who have been in insurance for a very long period of time, as well as in the marketing team, people who have experience in agency and also social media content management. So the really good thing is having an existing business. It allows us to transform to running this blockchain project and turning it into a business. So a lot of people ask is it beneficial to have a business before you do an ICO? I think it really helps us a lot because we have all the different departments set up and we understand how do you turn it into a business and a real project out there where you can engage with individuals and also connect to the real world.
So you are going to provide both traditional insurance and crypto insurance. Can you give more details on both these sides?
Yeah, definitely. So crypto insurance wise, we've been working together with a global insurer on the underwriting. So how do we do that is really looking into like recently we announced the partnership with Digix Global and Traceto. So these two are the blockchain companies that we're doing the first proof of concept. So how we look into it is that how the companies store their crypto assets, how much in the cold wallet, how much in the hot wallet, looking into how do they secure their data. So it's a mixture of existing traditional insurance products such as the cyber insurance, cyber security insurance where it protects you from hacks, ensure business continuity, to crime insurance where it actually provides a payout, and on top of that, directives insurance where it protects anyone that actually holds the key to the crypto wallets. So it's really through research and really a lot of study into how can we make it happen. Because I remember when I first reached out to our insurance partners that we have, a lot of them, when they heard crypto assets, cryptocurrency, no. Our reinsurer, our treaty doesn't allow this. But I try to get them to understand, no, I'm not insuring in terms of valuation, because to them it's really volatile. But I try to get them to understand what's the real value of insuring the wallets. It's really to prevent hacks and really bring a sense of assurance and peace to the individuals out there holding the crypto assets. So that's the gist of that product. And then for the whole peer-to-peer insurance products that we're working on, basically it is a reinvent of how the normal insurance policy is being distributed. So I will run through the whole like user journey for you. So as an individual, you can form and join a pool that probably say you want to be insured for life policy, or you want to be insured for agriculture, or you like to be insured for any travel insurance. So you join this pool, you pay with PAL tokens. From there, you can refer your friends and family or whosoever to join the pool and earn bonus tokens. Once the pool is kickstarted from X number of people who join, it could be 500 people or 10,000 people, the policy is incepted. So if, let's say, there's any claim, you submit it through Policypal app that's already available out there that people can download. So once you submit the claim, most of the information will be retrieved through third-party sources. So information such as, if let's say it's a travel insurance, we're able to get travel flight stats details. We can automate the claims payment for the customer. So they no longer have to wait for weeks and submit the document, write up all the information, pass it to the insurance agent, to the insurance company, and then come back again in a couple of weeks. We can automate the whole process through the app, and this way, as a policy holder, I can feel that, oh, this is really game changing, because I no longer have to go through the whole manual process anymore, as compared to like myself, the experience I've gone through, the back and forth communication with the insurance company. So we're taking steps to make it happen, to automate everything. But we see it happening in a couple of years' time, but we start off with products where we can automate the claims. And what happens if, let's say, you don't find any claim in the pool? Some people ask that. So what happened to the money? You actually get additional cashback. So people will be incentivized not to file any wrong claims, because they know that they will be able to get money back. So end of the day, everyone is helping one another, but in a very systematic way. Why I say systematic? Because all the information are recorded on the ledger. We know how many policies accepted, how many claims is being paid out. Is recorded in the sense where it helps to bring trust and transparency back to the consumers out there. This insurance, when I describe to many insurance companies or people out there, they can relate to it, because insurance started from that form. When people still live in villages, people actually share the risk profile the risk within the same village, and then they chip in a little bit of money and form this pool, this fund that can help any family members in the same village. Because when people live in the same village, they trust one another. But in this current urbanized world, everyone is everywhere. How can we trust like all people from the other side? If I share in the same pool, is this person going to return me the money? There's no form of like governance or anything. So therefore, like we're putting it on a blockchain, we really can make it happen again. Yeah.
As soon as you've mentioned your partnership with Trace2, can you please tell more about it, and should we anticipate any new partnerships in the near future?
Yeah, I think I can share some of it as much as I can, information that can be public. So first of all, Trace2, I think currently they are doing their own ICO as well. They have an existing product been in market for a long time where they provide KYC solution to a lot of blockchain companies and also fintech companies that require KYC services. So we have used that service for our own ICO. We work with the team really well. So first of all, the partnership will help us in terms when we launch the product for policy distribution. We definitely need KYC service. So this way, as a customer, you no longer need to fill up those paper form that you normally fill for insurance company, go back and forth of like, oh, I need to check your documents, I need to do this and that. But all the KYC process will be done through the digital platform. That's the partnership we have with Trace2. On top of that, as now they are doing their own ICO and then they have also raised some pre-sale fund. They want to protect their crypto wallet. So they were looking for solutions for protection as well, because, you know, they do KYC, there's so much confidential information. So they were looking for a couple of different insurance products, and then we look into, oh, how can we add like more protection to you? How can we help you to ensure that you feel more assured? So we offer the crypto protect insurance. So first of all, we look into how do they store their crypto assets, how much in cold and hot wallet, and then where is it stored. We actually have to do a technical audit before we can come up with the insurance premiums and the protection. So currently, all the partnerships are still done on the B2B level to help blockchain companies on that. So we're working on a couple more partnerships where we will be announcing really soon. So we have pretty good news coming up as well. So please keep a lookout on our Telegram group chat. I know that people have been really active there, asking a lot of questions, and we try to really stay very engaged with the community, especially they were asking for like some new logo design, and then we took that feedback, and then we created a competition to actually really engage with our own community and hear from them.
Are there any projects in blockchain industry that can be considered your competitors?
I think we are pretty early for like the insurance space. So a couple of people during, I think, December or January sent me details on InsurePal, because quite a lot of people know that like Policypal like been around for a while. So we've been around since 2 years ago. So there was once that like someone pinged me and like, hey Val, do you rename it to InsurePal? Then actually it's another company. They're based in the UK. So what they're doing is in the insurance space, but in a very different business model. So I wouldn't say that it's really our competitor out there. Everyone is doing different things. Because in the insurance space, it's really huge. Every single year, $4.7 trillion spent on insurance premiums, existing insurance premiums. So it's a huge amount in comparison. If you look into payments, it's actually bigger. So I would say that more competition can be better, because it helps you really share with the community and the market, and also our potential partners on what can possibly be done in the insurance space, because it's so huge. Lack of the better word, it's a dinosaur. It's old, and it's a huge industry that really ripe for disruption. Other than that, I think there's another company called MediShares. They are from China, China-based blockchain company. Also invested by Fambushi Capital. That's how I could know about them. So they're doing something really interesting as well, peer-to-peer insurance, but they're targeting China market. So China itself is really big, and that's their focus. So I think it will end up being probably complementary, because we are targeting Asia Pacific, as well as like recently we've been receiving requests in the Europe side to bring the technology to that end. So we don't see it as real competition, but it's more of like, like sharing with the market that, this is possible, and can I bring it to this country? And it helps us to grow. It helps us to get more feedback from the community as well.
Speaking about the markets you are targeting at, what are they?
So there are quite a few discussions ongoing now with our partners. So the first market very much depends on like how fast we launch together with their partner. We have a few in the pipeline. I can share a couple of names. So there's Indonesia market, that's huge. There's also a Japan market that currently is really high penetration for insurance, because insurance is a form of assurance to the Japanese last time. So a lot of them have 5 to 8 insurance policies. So we've been hearing a lot of demands from our contacts there to explore into something like this together. On top of that, I was in London last month. London is basically the start of insurance. Lots of London is there. So very similarly, been getting a lot of feedback from them that, can we potentially look into this, and we can explore the launch it there. So I think over time we keep hearing a lot of feedback from the partners, and also like the community. We want to grow the platform, but our target is still the Asian market. But of course, if let's say there's opportunity for us to offer the technology to companies around the world, we are very happy to do so, because we will then get like the really good feedback from people who have done insurance for a long time, but they want to bring it to the new platform and open to decentralized insurance. Because last year when I talked about decentralized insurance to insurance companies, it scares them, because like, I don't want people to be controlling my KYC process. I don't want people to controlling my claim process, and also getting all my information. So on the technology side, we have beyond the platform to both having the private and public chain. I think all the information I'll share more next time. If not, I think next time I don't have so much to talk about already. So this way we can share the right information with the community, bringing trust to them. At the same time, protect the private information on the business side with our business partners.
So the Asian region is your priority, and the one you're going to start with. Do I get it right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I know, you had an Asian roadshow. Can you please share your experience about this?
Yeah, definitely. So I went to Hong Kong, Taiwan, Seoul, and Tokyo in February. That was before our crowd sale. It was a very tight schedule. Every 2 days we were traveling, but yet we were really filled with a lot of excitement from the crowd, because it was during the winter time during those countries, but a lot of people actually turn out. So every market has different interests because of our 2 different products. So we realized that the people in Hong Kong are actually very interested in the crypto protect insurance. I think maybe partly because a lot of people have crypto assets, so a lot of questions on that end. and also the insurance companies are very curious how we do how can that partner be willing to look into ensuring that. So I actually share a bit of like my experience on like the discussion I have with the global insurer that we are partnering. So when we move on to Taiwan, the people there are a bit more interested in the peer-to-peer. I guess maybe because the market there has some level of interest in ICO, but they're more interested in the blockchain technology. So I think that the feedback that I got from there is always like the peer-to-peer, how can they make insurance much more affordable? How can blockchain really optimize the whole process? So they're looking more on that angle. So when I was in Tokyo, that time, I think Contract just had an incident a week or two before my visit to Tokyo. So because Contract was being hacked that time, so they find real relevance to the crypto protect insurance. So every market is quite different. Every market was like, oh, I want this insurance product. And then for Seoul itself, they were very interested in the peer-to-peer insurance and also the crypto assets. I think so. South Koreans, they really are into the whole blockchain and cryptocurrency space. So they can relate very well with these two products. And I also heard a lot about like what type of products they will be very interested when we really launch the peer-to-peer insurance platform in that country. So I think all this engagement helped us to understand each market better and also from the community what they were looking out for. And then the meetups, the turnout was fantastic, even though like Seoul was -12. I'm sure Russia is colder, but Seoul was like freezing for me then, because I've been living in Singapore for a long time. Singapore has been always 30 degrees all the time. So after that, I came back, it was Chinese New Year period, which was quiet. Then we did our crowd sale. Thereafter, March was very hectic travel again, where I went to Milan. I shared with the regulators on like what we have done from the sandbox to the ICO and the blockchain platform we are building. So quite a few of them were very interested in especially the blockchain platform, because to them, insurance penetration is something on top of their mind, because the higher the insurance penetration, the much more well-balanced the whole society would be, right? Because moving forward, people are well taken care of in terms of needs. It really lightened the load of, you know, the governments and the regulators. So a lot of them are very curious about, oh, how can we actually eventually work on the project together with you? But as a company, we need to be focused. So we start the conversation early, but we stay focused on like developing our first proof of concept with the partners that we're in discussion with. So after that, I actually went to Bangkok. I went to Bangkok. I spoke in the blockchain conference where I met, we're very honored to meet Brad from Ripple, the CEO of Ripple, where I actually exchanged some conversation with him about what they're doing, also like their business direction, and also share more about what we're working on, which was really insightful. Then after that, I came back to Singapore, went to London. London was really interesting as well, where I spoke at quite a few conferences. So I know the Telegram group chat were like asking, oh, why is Val speaking at so many conferences? I happened to be there, and it was London FinTech Week. A few of them actually reached out and asked if I would be willing to share my experience about building the InsurTech platform, and also how blockchain can really help the insurance industry. So I was at Innovate Finance. It was a really huge conference where all the really established blockchain companies and also fintech companies all gathered together to speak, including big companies like Revolut, where they have been around for a long time, where they actually introduced their cryptocurrency trading on their Challenger Bank mobile app as well. So all the way to the meetups with our pre-sale investors and also the community there. So I did three meetups there actually with different groups, and all the meetups were packed. With 200 to 300 people. It was fantastic. Why? Because I think the knowledge and the thirst for new projects and what they're working on is really there. The whole conversation was really engaging. It's never a one-way talk. It's not like, oh, me giving the full presentation. Whenever I say something, people are just like, oh, how do you form the pool? Oh, what happens if the pool dries out? As in like the peer-to-peer insurance pool. So it's always very engaging. So I think this way I really can understand the community and also what their questions. It helps in terms of the product development because we can know about what potentially people will be concerned about. What would they be asking before we launch the product? So this really get the instant feedback from them, where I constantly get back to my hotel. I'll be working because of the time difference, where, you know, if that when I was in London, it's actually nighttime is the morning time for Singapore, right? So and I get to be working all the time together with my team as well, even though I was traveling, which was great, but at the same time not so great for my health because I need to take good care of my health. The health is the health of the company is as good as all the team members working on it, right?
Do you have some kind of everyday routine for this?
Everyday routine for myself or for
yourself?
For myself.
Taking into consideration your lifestyle.
So I think my lifestyle, I think I don't really have a daily routine these days. I used to have, but I guess the hectic travel has made it a little bit challenging to keep up with the daily routine. But I go to the gym quite a bit, so like wake up in the morning to go to the gym before getting to work because it keeps me really fresh, and also I can start the day earlier. And then I normally filled with quite a lot of meetings during the day, and I get my work done or like work interviews done in the evenings. And normally we stay in the office, and we have our food delivered, dinner delivered to the office, and we stay until about 10 or 11. By the time I get back, I have the bad habit where I still take out my laptop to really just clear some things and read up on news or anything else. So that's my weekdays when I'm not traveling. My weekend, I always like to go to the gym first as well, because I think as you work so hard, you really need to find a way to distress. And I will take time to catch up with my friends. So I really run my days by calendar. So anyone that is really close to me, they know that I always have to get the calendar invite done, because there's so many things that are happening. I see that it is really helpful when I actually block out time when I have any meal with my family as well. I block out time. This is family time. And then I spend half a day to be working on Saturday. And Sunday, sometimes I really don't work, or sometimes I work half a day. Because I think that a lot of people have been telling me that definitely we need to take breaks. And because this is a marathon, it's not like a sprint where like I work, and then one day I get tired. But I need to enjoy the work and need to take breaks. So that's my routine when I'm in Singapore.
So now we know that fitness and good nutrition is the key to successful ICO.
Yeah, so I think that's really important, because no matter how busy I am, every Saturday morning I still wake up for my gym. You know, some people think that it's quite silly because weekends should sleep in, but I think if I don't do it, I feel like I'm much more tired because I don't get to distress. So I think when I travel, I sometimes will try to bring my gym back, but a lot of times because I do really short trips, I will fly in next day is the conference, and then I fly out immediately. I end up carrying just the cabin bag, so I can't fit in everything. So I try to keep all the trips really short, because I feel that it's important for me to be back with the team, and then ensure that like I can get posted on like, oh, what are all these travels for, what are the meetings, what have I learned from there, how it can help in terms of product development, so that we feel we stay connected and we ensure that everything is in sync. So maybe next time I'll find more time when I get to travel to meet the community. I spend a bit more time, because every time they ask me, "Hey Val, can we catch up after this?" Especially when I was in Bangkok after the panel, I grabbed my bag and went straight to the airport. I remember one of our community Telegram community members was like, "Val, can we grab coffee later?" I was like, "I'm so sorry, I'm actually rushing to the airport."
Speaking about personal efficiency, do you have some life hacks for that?
I think I'm still learning. There's a lot of improvements to be made, but life hacks is actually I learned it from my sister. The power of visualizing something that happens. I think that's last time I didn't really believe it until I started practicing it. So what the hacks that I do is actually I take out a notebook. I write down what are the things that I want to achieve for the company by when. So I put down really objective goals. What is it? Is it reasonable by when? Who I need to be working with. So this way I know what I'm working towards, and I can try to visualize it to be happening. And that's the policy power, and then I'll have one for my personal growth. So both key. So I always have these two portions. I do it whenever I feel that I need to have any checks in place. Or before I travel. So before I travel, I will look into what's the purpose of the travel, what I want to achieve. This way, I keep things in check. Other than that, I think I'm still learning a lot from other founders out there, be it blockchain company founders or other startup founders. I actually take time to reach out to advisors as well. Sometimes a little bit thick skin, as they say, that is not feeling embarrassed. I reach out to them and say, "Are you free to catch up? I would like to pick your brain on something." And in return, I try to actually help them in one way or another. This actually helped me a lot, not only as a startup founder, and it helped me to grow as a person, because I think it's very important to seek for help and advice along the way. Of course, we have to ensure that we're not pestering the person and constantly asking them for every single thing. But whenever I feel that there's a need to get some advice, be it on the business direction, on hiring, or on how do I plan, what's the next step for be it company, myself, or whatsoever, I get some advice from people who have done it before. Not everyone's advice will be great, but I like it whenever they share the advice that then I'll try to put myself in the position if let's say it's like that, how should I do it? So it really helps me as a founder and the CEO to really learn how to be a CEO. So sometimes people ask me, how do I know what to do? No one taught you how to be a CEO. You have to learn, you have to read up, you have to seek advice from people who have done it before, get a good mentorship from people whom you can trust. This has helped us in terms of growing the company for the past 2 years and moving forward.
What are your thoughts about traditional insurance companies? Do you see them more like your competitors, or we may anticipate some collaborations and partnerships in the future?
So the traditional insurance companies are actually our friends. So we've been working together with them since we started the company. So we definitely see them as friends and partners. Why so? Because I see a strong value with, on people who have done the business before. Of course, not everything is 100% foolproof that they have done it the best way. And it's the same as not every startup when it first started, they will get everything right. So I always feel that there's always opportunities to learn from one another. be it from startups or insurance companies, some people call it the incumbents. They have the knowledge in terms of how to do the underwriting. They have built up the brand and trust. So when we built the ecosystem for Policypal Network, we actually included them in, where they can be one of our underwriting partners if they choose to be part of it, where they can also increase the reinsurance pool so that there's bigger pool for the risk, insurance premiums payout. So we include them in the ecosystem, but however, in any case, if no insurance company partner with us when we launch the peer-to-peer insurance product, we can launch it by doing the underwriting on our end and introduce it to the consumers out there, because it's a non-regulated activity, and for every country we launch in, we will run through together with the regulators to ensure that what we're doing is actually checked and clear by them. So why is it not regulated? Because mutual aid insurance, basically everyone share the risk. There's no central party taking on the full risk, so it's no longer like sole insurance company distributing the traditional product that they have to keep the risk pool aside to pay out the claims moving forward. So I see insurance companies more like a friend, a partner, someone to learn from than really an enemy, because in business and personal world, I don't like to make enemies. I like to actually make friends with people, because I can help this person. For me, it's giving back to the society, or this person could be helping myself or the team or the business. So it's always good to make friends and partners with people who have who are in the space, yeah, or even not in the space too.
Let me cite a review by Deloitte. New insurance processes and business models built on blockchain will call into question current orthodoxies and challenge multiple pain points that are prevalent across the value chain. So, don't you think that the blockchain technology can actually disrupt the industry and most of the current giants may disappear?
You are right. So it can really reinvent how insurance companies operate now, especially the legacy system and also the IT platform they are on. We understand that because we've been working with them. So the challenge for us when we first started working with insurance company was getting APIs from them. So building an API could take a week or so, but sometimes they get 1 year or even longer time to actually come out with the API. A lot of times it's the red tape, it's the whole legacy system that hold them back. So the report by Deloitte is definitely right, but we believe in a couple years down the road, as more blockchain companies in the insurance space continue to introduce decentralized insurance, get educating both the community, the public, and also everyone about how is it like, there's higher adoption. So as the generation grow, the younger generation will understand more about the blockchain, and also they don't understand the blockchain, but they can understand that they can be buying insurance in a cheaper manner online. They don't know the technology behind. So it's the same as like younger generation people don't ask what's internet or what's TV, right? They just accept as it is. So people will be accepting as it is that you buy insurance online, that's all, it's cheaper. You join a pool with similar risk profile, and then you can get your cash back if let's say you don't file a claim. So as long as the whole ecosystem continue to grow, more and more people understand this, that the token holders where we really want to be working closely with, help to grow the type of insurance products, and also growing the peer-to-peer pool can really grow the whole ecosystem. Down the road, be it we are competitors with the insurance company if we underwrite our product, or they become our partner where we collaborate and they underwrite the product on our platform. We will be really changing the whole process of the insurance distribution, claims management, and also the trust level. It's going to take a while. Like, I wouldn't say that, like, say, next year is going to change everything, but it takes time to build the whole momentum as the trust level continue to grow. Eventually, I think the startups or like the tech companies will eventually take on the market share and also gaining the trust from the consumers. But I have to say that the big companies, because of especially the insurance companies doing life insurance, they have a recurring life policy that it can be 10 years, 20, 30 years that people have signed on the policy. So it's going to take time before everyone really move to the new technology to buy insurance policy, because there will be some people who probably bought a life policy that they need to pay for 20, 40 or 50 years to that particular insurance company. So it will eventually move to the new phase, but it will take a while. But being at the early front, like what we're doing now here, give us the opportunity to really tweak the right product based on the customer feedback, because the early adopters are the one that constantly will be sharing the feedback and then telling us what they're really looking for. So it helped us to really build the right product for them.
Okay, and do you think these old-fashioned industry giants and insurance companies understand that they're feeding the baby monster that will eat them someday?
Well, I think we have kind of seen it in other industries, be it in a centralized tech world such as Airbnb. Uber has taken over the traditional industry. I think blockchain will really help in terms of the new companies really taking on faster. Why? Because when the whole system is decentralized, you get more people in the ecosystem to be doing good because they're rewarded for doing good. They want to grow the whole ecosystem. The whole development could be faster than the centralized tech companies. Yeah, lack of better word, centralized tech companies, like say the Airbnb and Uber. Yeah.
You mentioned that you take your time to consult with your mentors and advisors sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you have actually, I'm pretty sure that you do have advisors in blockchain industry, and
yeah.
You communicate a lot with people from blockchain industry. Can you share their expectations on the market for the next few months and maybe a year?
I think a lot of people don't really want to comment about the markets now. As you can see that from March onwards, the market has been going through winter. Today it has picked up, and hopefully the momentum continue to stay. So been hearing mixed feedback and comments about the market. Some of them say that potentially it will grow, it will recover, because all the regulations and all the news has been thrown out. There's new regulations set up to ensure that in the cryptocurrency space, things are done in a much more proper manner. So once things are done in a proper manner, there's opportunity for growth. So there's also feedback that it might not be, it might still go through winter all the way until like a lot of blockchain companies launching their products on the mainnet by Q3, where we might probably see a huge opportunity for the growth. So these are the two different feedback and comments I've been hearing from blockchain advisors. So we can't really predict. If we predict, I think we're not human being anymore, and especially in a like cryptocurrency space, decentralized. No one really knows what's going to happen. And so we continue to watch and see. But at the same time, we focus a lot on our product development. So a very good advice that I got from someone was that just focus on what you can control. What you can control is the company that you're building, the product you are developing, what you've been hearing in the community, how you can actually build the right product. You have control on that. As long as you build the product, you launch it, you grow the business. By then, when the market recovers, it'll be fantastic news for the community and everyone. So that's a lot better than keep thinking on the market where everyone has no control on. And so I think as a CEO, that's what we can focus on now.
As the ICO is over, what are your plans for the next 2-3 years?
Okay, so next 2-3 years, probably I'll talk about this year first. This year, the key focus is launching our peer-to-peer mutual aid platform in the new market, where we will be announcing by Q3 to really test out the whole platform for people to buy the policy. In the next year, whilst we're looking into developing additional products on the platform, and also a third market where we can enter, and also look into optimizing more insurance policies for individuals out there. And then eventually, we just hope to be able to serve more markets by launching in new countries and helping people to really get protection at a lower price. But this is easier said than done, so we will continue to get more feedback. So the first product we launch, will this product be scalable, and we take the same product to launch in the third country, or the third country probably might need to launch a new product, because every single country has different needs. So one example could be like in Japan, a lot of people actually buy a lot of different insurance policies, from disability income to everything else. The reason because there's aging population, because they will worry about that. I just met up with insurance group from South Africa. They came to visit our office today, Discovery Group. So they mentioned that in South Africa, electronics insurance is the most popular, because they're very worried losing their handphones, their laptops. That's the most popular one. That's what people care about. So as a company, when we grow for the next 2 to 3 years, for each country, we're going to really need to understand what the needs of the market, instead of just working from our own office that, oh yeah, I think that this is what they're looking for. We take the existing product and then try to sell it in the new country. That's not the case, because it's very different in the insurance space as compared to, say, if I'm doing a food delivery startup, every country will be eating, but probably they're eating different cuisine. But I think that the main idea is we have to really continuously engage with the community, understand what they're looking for, and also build the whole ambassador program that we recently launched, because we're really looking for people from all around the world to be Policypal Network ambassador for us. Not only shouting out that, oh, Policypal is the best, but also engaging with the community in that particular country, be it setting up meetups, be it hearing the feedback from the particular market, and working closely with the team based here. And we'll be launching new partnerships as well, because that's something that we've been working on since we first started. Like last time, our partnership was with insurance companies, and now the recent 2 blockchain companies. We've been working really hard on like partnership development, because we want to grow a decentralized insurance industry. So that's the main vision of building Policypal Network, to do so, we need to get more people involved in the whole ecosystem. So that's the main goal that we'll be working towards for the next 2 to 3 years.
And in the end of the interview, is there something you want to tell or to wish to our community?
Yeah, so it has been a really enjoyable chat with Mike, and I'm very happy that we got to be speaking with ICODROPS audience, because I'm pretty sure everyone in this space always check out ICODROPS before they look into new projects. So what I'd like to really share is that thank you so much for supporting the project and supporting decentralized insurance. The key reason why I started the company, first of all, was really to help individuals out there with the insurance policy, because I know and understand how important it is for everyone out there. It's been a journey on educating everyone on managing, understanding insurance policy. Why Policypal Network? Because of my vision to help people out there in a larger scale, to be able to help them with the claims process and also get affordable insurance. I do hope that more people will join our ambassador program, and so more people will be helping in terms of forming the peer-to-peer group when we launch it on the mainnet by Q3. So by Q2, we'll be launching our testnet. Please give us the feedback that you have. That will be extremely helpful in terms of the product development. And thank you so much for watching this video. And the interview has been really, really enjoyable. And I didn't expect it to be so fun. Yeah, thank you.
So, well, thank you very much for visiting us. Let me wish all the best to Policypal project from ICODROPS team. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell button, and you will never miss next video. Have a nice day and goodbye.
Yeah, please subscribe and have a nice day. Bye bye, everyone.